sitting here with Nasi Yashuvel. I know him as Shuv. I knew him from when he was like yay high. But he's like big in this debate stuff. So a couple of weeks ago there was a debate with Sarah Suit Seti, and as you know, the Hebrew came out and he prevailed. So I got some questions to ask you, Nasi. Some of the questions are things that Sarah Suit Seti said within the meeting. So in the order that I'm going, I'm just going to run them off and you answer them as you please. All right. Sarah Suit Seti used Proverbs 8 to say that Hebrews plagiarized that from the Egyptian creation story, that if you put it up side to side with the Egyptian creation story, that it matches line by line. He also went on to say that Proverbs 8 is the word of God. Do you agree or disagree with these statements?
I think when you look at what Seti was doing, it wasn't being genuine when I say that, because when you look at a lot of creation stories, they're all line for line, word for word, the exact. We all dealing with primordial waters, things coming out of the primordial waters. So when we look at the aspect of the Creator, he tried to use the feminine energy, meaning that the woman was in the beginning, using Proverbs 8, which Proverbs 8 does say that a feminine energy was in the beginning. But what we have to understand is that the Creator is neither male or female. The Creator, when you see him, it come in the form of on earth, it's called Shekinah. And that Shekinah is a feminine energy. So the Creator is male and female, and the reason why we address him as he is because when you address a crowd of dual genders, you always give a masculine question or a masculine way to address them. So the Creator, what he's doing is playing on words. But when you look at all the creation stories, the closest one you see to the Hebraic one is the Sumerian one. So to say that came from Egypt as well.
Thank you. Next question. I'm just going down the line. It says, question number 2. Seti also said that Hebrews are not supposed to use the name of the Creator, Yehovah or Yahweh. Where is that written in the Tanakh?
It's not written in the Tanakh. He made that up. He got that from a Hebrewish custom that later on people feared to use the name of the Creator, and then you see the Jews later on take it and they don't say the name of the Creator at all. But when Seti made that statement, he wasn't debating the Hebrew Israelites, he was debating people of the Jewish community, and he even put what's the name, man? Adonis, the rest of them.
Here we go. Yeah. That's the next question. Hold on. Adrian Adonis. Hold on. He said also that Hebrews used the word Adonai, which they got from the Greek god Adonis. Is there any validity to that statement?
No, in fact, if you want to look at one of the oldest forms of Adonai and influence of the word Adonai, is actually went to Egypt as Aten, where they worship. They actually got that word from the Sinai Peninsula. So if we're saying it later came into the Greeks, that's another lie. Seti is not true on that either. Adonai, because there is no D in the metaneta, that the word comes into Aden or Aten, which is one they worship in Egypt, which came from the Sinai Peninsula. So it's not later coming from the Greeks who were later on in the scene.
Number 3. Seti showed a picture of a shrine erected to Moses in Egypt. Then he went on to say that Egypt is a Muslim country, and do they believe in Moses? Like, you know, asking like, do they believe in Moses? If you have any knowledge of this, do you know if Muslims believe in the prophet Moses or not?
Well, there wouldn't be no Quran if there was no Moses. The Quran states, look into the Torah, and also the prophet Moses is Musa inside of the Quran, which is one of the principal prophets. So I don't know if he was saying that the Muslims didn't believe in Musa or Moses, but what he was showing was a raggedy-looking shrine, and everybody knows that the Creator buried Moshe. So to show that shrine, it makes no sense because nobody knows Moses was buried.
Okay. He also said that the Bible is an absolute book, that no Hebrew could use it with any other text outside of the Bible. Is this statement true?
Of course, nothing Seti says is true. I mean, where's that rule at?
So you said he was making it up as
he's making it up as he's going on. A book is an absolute book. If you go to anybody's history and you say, take me to the Hebrew Israelite library, and you go in there, there's one book on the shelf, please leave that community. You know what I mean? The Bible is a compendium of information. What they did is they put together the scriptures or the Torah because they knew they were going into some type of slavery that they wasn't getting out in no time soon. So they crammed together a book and put it together, and they briefed a lot of things. So if you want to learn about Enoch, you're going to have to search farther and farther about Enoch. Perfect example. Enoch is who you call Tahuti or Thoth in Egypt. Or Enoch is Emily Duranki in Suba. They're the same person. It's talking about the same man who came and brought that astronomical knowledge and writings to the people. So to say that we can't use no other book, that's ignorant in itself.
Okay. Moving right along. Number 5. Seti also claimed that Seti said that Hebrews claimed that they built the pyramids in ancient Egypt. Is there any proof of that in the Tanakh? Do you believe that Hebrews built the pyramids? Give explanation of yes or no.
Seti said that the Hebrews said they built the pyramids. He didn't use no book reference. He didn't use me saying we built the pyramids. Do I think the Israelites built the pyramids? Nah, I don't know. I really don't care. But that his argument was that they built the pyramids. I never said that. But what you do, if you do the research, look up Khufu and building the pyramids, and you realize that Khufu wasn't an Egyptian himself. So when you take out Khufu, who wasn't an Egyptian, that means you have to take out Khafre, you have to take out Menkaure, and them were all the ones in his son, Rejejef, who built the Sphinx. So everybody who built the Sphinx, the 3 pyramids in Egypt, according to a lot of scholars, they were not even Egyptians.
So are you saying that Seti just basically looked at the 10 Commandments, Charleston Heston, and came into an argument with you?
Yes, basically, and he watched a few cartoons. Did you see in the debate that he even quoted a children's book?
No.
Did y'all see that in the debate? He put up a children's book. You know? It was cute, man. You see when he had the guy, the Israelite with the beat up face. Yeah. Seti, he just needed to go back to the drawing board, man. That was really a weak performance. He came out hard with the humor, but you seen in the last round, he was weak. You can hear a pin drop in the room.
Now this is just going on. I just found out tonight that something that Sarnetta put us on to that we didn't even know about. Mm-hmm. That Seti bowed out for the last round. He didn't want to go to the 3rd round. Yes. Sarnetta let that be known. Mm-hmm. That he went to Seti. He said, "You ready for the 3rd round, the final round?" Seti said no mas. And Yashuvel, Nasi, said what happened to the 3rd round. And Sarnetta, and that's why Sarnetta is going so hard body at Seti, because looking at the debate, if you look at the preliminary rounds, that was a lot of fireworks. I admit you kind of ruffled this, but you kind of roughed them up, brother. I don't know why you had to come out at him like that, man. You care to explain that?
Yeah. Well, what happened was, the first person when I came to Harlem, when I got out of the car, lo and behold, the first person I see walking down the street, I seen the little guy walking down the street. It was Seti, man. I said, "Hey, Seti," and I looked down at him and I said, "Hey, man, let's do this, man." You know.
I must say, on video, he looks bigger than
he really do.
He makes himself look like.
Put the camera upwards, like he's talking down. I'm Sarah Seti, the general. Yeah. So when I seen him, he said, "Let's make history." And he said, "I just want to say one other thing, man. Let's don't get personal." So they knew they already, it wasn't that it was me, it was already the buzz in the community. There's a big elephant in the room. So they thought that the only thing where I can get them is hit them low, which that's not what I was thinking. Actually, the reason why I brought up the cocaine was to show that cocaine destroys your pineal gland. When you destroy your pineal gland, you can't communicate with God. So this is why Seti doesn't believe in God, because he can't communicate with him. That was the purpose of me bringing that up. But when Sarnetta and them pulled me to the back, they said no personal shots. I said, okay, cool. So I have a documentary coming out behind the scenes, about 2.5 hour footage about a document of what happened during the debate. But as soon as I finished talking to Sarah Seti, I turned my head and he's like, "Another body in the grave." Just yelling out, dapping his people up. Yeah. Like, he's like, "You gonna murder me?" Like, So then I said, okay, cool. I went to the sister. I said, "Can you take this off?" And she was like, "Well, I got to delete it." I was like, "All right, well, let's delete it." So I'm about to delete it. He goes in there. Y'all brothers brought in the drums, which that's what deflated him. The drums just took his spirit. When he seen that and everybody dancing, he was even nodding his head. Like if you see one, he could be like. He didn't know how to react. Yeah. But he came in, it's my house, and put it on the board. I said, he's arrogant. You begging me not to show something that you're teaching the people, and you're begging this. And so he also goes on, and he says, I say to a brother across the room, Most High willing, he says, ain't no damn Most High. I told the sister, I said, leave that stuff on there. And so when he went up there, I was still debating whether I was going to try to use it or not. He goes in there, this man shouldn't be debating me. He don't have no damn resume. Check my resume. And he went and taught about himself. So he set himself up for that one.
Oh, but I got a question. Do you know how old Sarah Sutin said he is?
He's been studying for 30 years, but he's 40.
He said he's a primary researcher for 30 years. So that means he would have started his studies from 10 years old. 10 years. You see, this is the thing that people are not looking into. You see, for years they've been banging on Hebrews, right? Brothers from ISUPK, brothers from any organization, they've been banging on us. But you got to listen to what people say out of their mouths. Now, you've been a primary researcher. That means you've been going to Egypt since you was 10 years old. I want to see the passport. I want to see the passport stamp showing that you've been a primary researcher for 30 years, he said, right? You 40 years old. I want to see some goddamn stamps on your passport to show that you went to Egypt, because you can say anything to anyone, but until you show them stamps, then what you're saying means nothing. What do you think about that?
You know, this is what I think about that. It's important because I was watching an episode of Bubble Guppies, right? And they were all dressed up like Egyptians. And they had a whole bunch of pictures, and the person, they had the pictures in front of them, and they said, what's that? They said, that's hieroglyphs. And she said, ooh, cool. But I don't know what the hell this says. Basically, she don't know, so Seti don't know either. I mean, that's like me looking at your tablet. If I can't read, it don't matter how many times I look through your tablet, it don't matter, because I don't know what's on it. So for you to be a primary source, that's dangerous when information is available for you to learn your own meta-netta. So if you've been studying 30 years, I think you should know a little bit of meta-netta.
Yeah. That's like coming to a Hebrew. I mean, I'm not the best Hebrew scholar, but you put that scroll in front of me, even without vowels that I didn't practice, I'm going to figure it out. You know, I'm going to figure out Wadabir, Yehovah, Elohim. I'm going to figure that out because I know the characters. So for someone that's been a primary researcher for 30 years, and he don't even know, because I seen when you presented him with the papers, he never looked at them.
He wasn't.
I mean, if somebody would have came up to you, right?
I read in Hebrew. Just when something was in the See, he was struggling in the debate. If I was struggling in the debate, I would have read the Hebrew just to get one point.
Just to get a point.
Where that paper at? If I was give me that paper.
Shema Yisrael, Yahweh.
No, answer none of your questions. I just start reading it fast. Look, I told you. But he didn't even do that because it was too many areas that he failed. I knew going in that I was 97% sure I was going to win. If the only reason I said 97 because 3% was just showing me if somebody in my group, which I don't have a group, I only have one other person, has disclosed my information. If this brother, because the brother that is a primary researcher of mine and who I share information with, was given to me by the Amara Squad. So these brothers, the Amara Squad, put together my group, which is me and another brother. So I trusted the brother, but if it was 3% to say that this brother is going back and saying information, or maybe accidentally debating brothers on the low, and that information was received out. But I knew that this information is not even in the book. See, that's the problem with Egyptologists. They have books that try to kill the Bible. So if I was an Egyptian, all I got to do is buy me about 5 or 7 books, read through it, and highlight some stuff, and throw it back at the Hebrews. But when we debate the Egyptians, there's nothing like that for us. We have to make these books. And that's what we was doing. We was making a book. So there is no rebuttal to something you never seen before. So that's why I knew Seti wasn't going to answer none of that stuff.
We're going to move on with the questions that I got on the tab, all right? We might veer off again.
All right, cool.
All right? Right here I have He said that many blacks today became Jews because their slave masters were Jews. Would you care to elaborate on that?
No, I don't see that being valid. When they say the Jews were involved in the slave trade, from my research, and I could be wrong, from my research, they were black Jews. They wasn't European Jews. They were Moorish Jews, which were the black Hebrews. And the Moors and the Hebrews were involved in selling out other Hebrews. So that's where I'm coming from with that. So you're talking about we was under Sneerson or something in slavery times. I don't see no history in that. And when I came back, when he said that, I just pulled out some stuff in the archive and showed them where they're building their principle off of Egyptian history. Like everything is based off of Egypt. Like I missed one of the pictures. One of the pictures, if you look at the pyramids of Giza, and I don't know if y'all want to check this out, the pyramids of Giza, the World Trade Center is lined up just like the three World Trade Centers is lined up just like the pyramids of Giza. All this stuff is planned out.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I didn't understand with what he was saying. Because if you look at America, right? When you look at America, America is a melting pot. And Egypt, and today, America is a modern day Egypt, as how we would say. But when you look at the building structures in America, they all don't come from, in fact, almost none of it come from Native Americans. They come from Germans, they come from Spaniards, they come from this one, from that one, an African, from this one and the other. So for him to even say that pyramids that were built in Egypt were just a Kemetic concept or people from, or just Egyptians, I think it's a wrong thing, because Egypt was a metropolis. And a lot of people came through Egypt, and there were a lot of architects that came through there, and you could see it in Greece. They stole all the Egyptian, science, and they built it in Greece. Rome did the same thing. So for him to say things about the pyramid and it was just, like basically everything started right there, I don't think that's true. I mean, a lot of things they had great scientists, they had great doctors, but I don't think everything just started from there.
It was an influx. It was an influx of people. Anybody that know the history, it shows a migration of people. Even if you look at the Narmer Palette, he's killing all foreigners, but these foreigners wasn't foreigners outside the land. They were people that were indigenous to the land. So Egypt was a melting pot. Like also I showed in the debate that on the Yunus pyramid text that they have a prototype of Proto-Semitic writings, which is basically coming from Syria, which is a group of ancient Hebrews.
Okay.
So to say Egypt came up with a lot of stuff, Egypt was the first to do a lot of stuff. They was the first in necrophilia.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, they were sleeping with the dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So Herodotus writes in his book of the World Histories.
I don't know the big words, so you got to break it down for me.
In the book of World History, they used to hurry up and bury the mummies, and they used to let the bodies rot and stink before they give them over to the priest to mummify them, so the bodies stink so bad that they wouldn't have sex with them because it was getting out of hand. They were tearing them cold shut.
That's crazy.
And that's where the concept of Isis sleeping with Osiris. He was dead and she slept with him. That's where that concept comes from, because it was a common practice during that time anyway.
Okay. All right. Good.
Why is it these debates are always a faction of Egypt versus Hebrews, when there's others of diaspora groups out there that also represent?
Why is it that these debates are always sectioned off between Hebrews and Egyptologists when there are other African, nations or people or other people in the diaspora that can have a say in the debates?
No, they actually the Hebrews just started debating. The Hebrews been scared for a while. They didn't want to debate. That's what they say.
Well, they actually been going at the brothers on the streets.
Polite
them, been working them brothers out.
For a while, they've been trying to bait them in. But no, Wesley Muhammad, I don't know if you see, look up Dr. Wesley Muhammad versus Mukasa, Dr. Wesley Muhammad versus Tahuti, and he's a Muslim against Egyptologists. I mean, he tore a hole in them brothers, man. They got Ali Muhammad versus Tahuti. So they do mix it up. It's just that the Israelites, they've been waiting for it so long that when you put an Israelite versus an Egyptologist out there, everything doubles. Like the numbers, the rating, everything doubles. You know, like perfect example. The debate between Ali Muhammad and Lord Abba was real technical, but it was really important for people to actually listen to that debate. But it wasn't the big debate because it doesn't draw that much people as the Israelites and the Egypt. People want to see bloodshed. They want to see people go at it. You know.
Okay, I'll move on with my questions over here. I think I need glasses. All right, here we go. Number 7.
No, and nothing. My bad. The Egyptians also was the first to have fishnet stockings. You know that? And the prostitutes used to wear fishnet stockings, and they used to wear red lipstick. When you wore the red lipstick, that signified that you were doing oral favors for money. It's true. Look in 501 things you need to learn about history. You find that information too.
I'll give Seti this. I like Seti. He just got a foul mouth. He's disrespectful, but I like his spirit.
Yeah.
He gave a nice breakdown of the
Judah?
Yes.
Man,
what you think about that?
Well, next year I'm going to teach him like that. I mean, he told Judah up.
He brought him up to modern day history.
He's like, Judah was tricking. Yeah, I mean, what? He said, one nigga give a signet ring and his, you know what I mean?
He gave up everything.
Man, but let me tell you, Seti's not stupid. He's a very intelligent brother. He dumbs it down like that because it captivates a larger audience.
Right.
Seti is the biggest pull in the debate. I mean, you know, I was a nobody. You know what I mean? And
that's what he called me.
Yeah. He wasn't lying. He said, check his resume, but Seti, now you are my resume.
That's a big resume.
But when he's cursing like that, it pulls everybody in it. So now you got people who want to change, but they don't really have to change now because they can sound intellectual but still cursing because Seti is doing it. So he got a massive following, and Seti's big. He's needed in the debate.
But I could say that second round he toned it. I listened to that debate about 3 times. Yeah. That spirit was taken away from him. That second round, I mean, if you look at that debate, the first round he was Sarasut and Seti. But if you know anything about Seti, whenever he finishes his rounds, what's the main thing? He said, Black Power! Black Power! When he finished that second round, he said, I'm going Black Power. Did you notice that? He's like, I'm going Black Power. Yeah. He said it like underneath his breath, like Black Power.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of there. I mean, because when you're debating, it's kind of like when you're debating a black style of debate, you got to have the crowd.
Charisma.
We got the charisma. Once you know you don't have the crowd, your worst fear is to be up there. And Seti experienced his worst fear. It's like he's telling jokes and nobody's laughing.
Right.
So he's ready to exit as soon as he can get out of there. You know, people think it was just a whole bunch of Israelites. It was a lot of Israelites there, but it was half and half. Right. It was the Egyptologists were there too. They just didn't want to hear it after a while. Right. They were either tired or they just gave up on Seti.
Right. And the other thing I must say, to keep it real, to keep it fair. Now I criticized you on your opening round, but I got to say this to Seti. Whenever you were speaking, he had the most to say while you were speaking, and you gave him the respect while he was debating and while he was speaking. Because I went back and I listened to the tapes, and he interrupted you a lot of times. It was like a lot of side shots. It was a lot of... It's one thing if the audience is doing it, but for the debaters to be doing it to each other, I think that shows a lack of respect.
No, and it's true, because even if I'm bombing you, you can't call me a slanderer. You know? You can't yell out you a slanderer.
You a slanderer!
Yeah, it's not slander.
You a slanderer!
If you saying it, how is it slander? I mean, like, come on, we need...
I said I was smoking weed! You a slanderer. You see like people are holding... It's on the video, like people are holding them.
Yeah, it was really emotional to them.
That was crazy. Well, let's move on with the question, because I could get off on a tangent. Number 7.
You said question 6.
7 now.
No, I said you said the tangent thing on question 6.
He said that how is it that Ramesses was supposed to have been killed when the children of Israel was walking across the bed of the Red Sea or Sea of Reeds, when the Egyptian army came pursuing after them into the bed of the sea, and the army as well as Ramesses was supposed to have drowned, but yet Ramesses was found in his tomb buried.
like you said, that's a Ten Commandment debate. He's watching the Ten Commandments. No logical person now thinks that Ramses was the pharaoh during the time of the Exodus. Okay. Though in the scriptures you see the city of Ramses, that doesn't mean that they were building what you know as Ramses City. It means that at that time it was known as the city of Ramses, and we have to understand certain parts of the Torah was written actually later during time. Like, for example, Ur the Chaldeans. It wasn't known as Chaldea during the time of Abraham. It was actually Ur but at that time it was called Chaldea. That when the Torah was written, see, Torah was passed down the oral tradition for years, and when it was written, it was for people to understand during that time. So they named places what they were named after at that time.
Absolutely. Number 8, Seti also said that there was no Israel. They made that, I'm going to say how he said it, quote, they made that shit up in 1945. Do you care to comment on the statement? Also, is the landmass that we call Israel, is it located in Africa?
Yeah, I mean, it's located in Africa until they put the canal there to separate it. Israel being a place, or that's an ignorant statement. The Egyptians was calling it Israel. You know, like we use the Moneptah Stela, like we said, the Moneptah Stela, that's 1250 BC, speaks of Israel and the wars of Egypt against Israel when the Hebrews were considered the 9 bowls. If you know anything about the 9 bowls in Egypt, they were supposed to be Egyptians' deadliest 9 enemies. So if Israel wasn't even a state, why are they considered to be one of the deadliest enemies in 1200 BCE to Egypt?
Okay. I don't have no debate with you, brother. I'm just bringing the question. He also said that the Israelite kingly tribe, which is the tribe of Judah, was conceived from a harlot, Tamar. Is this true, or do you wish to expound on this? Was Tamar a harlot?
No, Tamar wasn't a harlot. She pretended to be a harlot to fulfill the duty of Torah. Right. So calling her a harlot would be wrong because Judah in itself says she's more righteous than me. So, you know, he's reading this the way he wants to read it, and he's giving his own commentary. He's like a drunk Rambam or something. Like, you know,
So you basically making it up as he going along.
That's what he does. I mean, it's funny though. I mean, people just laugh. I mean, it's funny. I mean, but really what he's saying is that, I mean, he had Adonis up there, the wrestler.
That was crazy, Adrian Adonis.
Talking about this is where we got the greatest name from. He had the wrestler up there. It's funny though.
All right, we almost getting close to it.
All right, cool.
He asked the question, if we were the chosen of God, why didn't we get the best lands from the beginning?
All right. Who was fighting over Egypt? Nobody. Right. They don't fight over Egypt. They let the Arabs have it and they camels and they make little money off the pyramids or whatever. Right. They're not fighting over Egypt. People are fighting over the dust of Israel.
True statement.
They're fighting over the dust of Israel. So Israel's at the best. They're fighting over the dust of Israel. And not over religion either. Because the wealthy don't believe in, the wealthy people don't believe in God.
Right.
So they're not fighting over a religious aspect. They're fighting, it's something it's something there that they want, and it's something that they're fighting over. They have wars. America has invested so much money in Israel. So that's how you know which is the wealthiest. So Canaan land was the most powerful land. And when Egypt didn't have control of Canaan or didn't have ties with Canaan, it was weak. Okay. Whoever had Canaan, if it was Babylon or Egypt or Assyria or Egypt, whoever had control of Canaan had control of the world.
Do you have anything to say about Abraham and Abraham?
Man, my brother did a little skit on this, man. I want to pull it up, man. I think everybody, when that happened, everybody in the room knew it was over.
Yeah, the room got deflated. Even the Egyptologist was like, Seti, are you serious?
You know, Tahuti told me...
He opened up the second round with that, I think, with Adonis.
Yeah, he told me that Seti tried that like 3 years ago, but he was just talking in the room with Egyptologists. Right. And he said, they corrected Seti and told him don't try it, but he went on stage and tried it anyway. But that means he was desperate. You remember when he went up there and he was like, he was looking. He was like, I'm gonna show y'all this. And he like click.
He said, go past.
He said, y'all say I've been in the Bible too much, so I'm gonna go out the Bible. He said, I'm gonna show you this. And he's looking, and then he goes, sits down, and he's still looking for something to show us. It was over with then. But I want to show you, I want to pull up this video, man. This is a funny video.
Who made this video, man?
One of my brothers, man.
Well, I got another question here while you're looking for that video. He said that Imhotep was deified as the god of medicine by Egyptians. But in the next breath, he says, we don't need no god to heal us. We do it ourselves. Well, if they deified Imhotep, everyone in the generations after him were praying to him to get well. Isn't that correct? If they deified him.
That's not really a question. He's making statements. he basically throwing like kicking him while he down. That's right. That's right.
He just wants to agree with him.
What's this?
I'm going to show it to the camera. Hold up.
Put the mic to it. Hold up.
Y'all gonna let me go to work? Y'all gonna let me go to work? Should be Abraham. Should be Abraham. Yeah. Shem. Abraham. Not Ham.
Tell me if I'm in the camera. Let me know when I'm in the camera. That's good?
Bring it a little further back. Oh, right there is perfect. Actually, right there is perfect.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
So
Perfect.
microphone case.
That's good.
Yeah.
One more time. Wait, the battery.
Y'all gonna let me go to work? Y'all gonna let me go to work? Should be Abraham. Should be Abraham. Yeah. Shem. Abraham. Not Ham.
He said Arab and Ararat means the same thing.
No.
Arab and Ararat. That's when he was reaching. I knew he was reaching in that part.
Yeah, that's Abraham and Abraham too. That's linguistic folly at its best.
All right, my last question. He said, I'm just quoting directly what he said in the debate. I know these are like erroneous statements and things he was making up, but I want you to clarify it so that when we put it out there, people know that, said he was making stuff up as he went along. He claimed that Moses is before Abraham because he wrote about Abraham.
And that's ignorant. But in regards to the brothers that believe that Moses wrote the first 5 books, they would say that it was prophecy. The Almighty gave him a revelation to write about the past and the future. And there's another group of brothers that say Moses didn't write the first 5 books. Moses wrote the original Torah, but the first 5 books of the Torah is not actually written by Moses, and some of it is recopied of Moses' writing. So what he said doesn't make no sense. I mean, to ignorant people, they can clap and cheer for that. But if you have any knowledge whatsoever, that you would have looked at that and said, this man is ignorant. I think it even got to a point where this man looked so bad that I feel bad debating him because people was like, I knew he was too dumb to battle you. Like they play him down like he wasn't a good debater, and I don't think that's right. I think that you had to see the spirit that was in the building that just sucked the wind out of him, man. When them drums came in, I was hyped. I mean, I wasn't going in there. I would say, I'm going to hallelujah. I wasn't going in there like that. But after them drums, I was the exorcist. You know what I mean? My head spinned around. I was ready to go. I was gonna be like, hey, praise the Most High. My name is Yashuvel. Them drums came. It was a whole different. Yes. I don't think Seti should be debating me. Check his resume. That's the approach I was going to go on. But I thank the Creator for all things and everything because, well, we got our brothers here, and it's a beautiful thing, and we all here together in unity, and we wouldn't have seen it for us to be able to meet with brothers who are different walks of lives. This just shows a new age of Israel.
Make a statement to the people out there that keep saying this. The brother who was dancing in front of the drums was not an Israelite. He was an Egyptologist that got moved by them drums that them Israelites was playing. And when we were saying Yahweh, when we were screaming Yahweh, Egyptologists was singing Yahweh. That's the name of the Most High. So just to let you know, there wasn't all Hebrews in there. There was Egyptologists in there that got caught up in that spirit of praise. You know what I'm saying? And also, what's up with your brother Unc, man? He's really. He did?
Yeah, man. He called on Sinetta show. He's the mad rapper. He's the mad rapper, but he called in the show today trying to ask me questions. And I'm like, yo, you going to be everywhere I go, man. Shoot, I'm about to stop. Yeah, I'm about to just go to churches. I'm about to go to churches, make sure he ain't in there. I'm about to just speak at churches.
Right after the debate, when Sinetta came on his radio show, you know, he was waiting like at around 40. If you do the archives and you look at his blog show that night, at about the 42nd minute when Sinetta comes on, and he said, yo, said he just got worked out. It was like God just got destroyed. It was like he couldn't believe it. Like, what did Yashuvel make up? What did he do? What was this? What was that? Like, he couldn't believe that. Said he couldn't lose. What you got to say about that?
That's acting at its finest. I debated Uncle Keck. Uncle Keck pulled me to the side. He said, I want you to debate Seti. I think you can defeat him. That's how I got to debate with Seti. Uncle Keck, brother. I mean, he set up the debate. Not only did he set up the debate, he hyped it up. He let me. I was talking with the Amara squad and going back and forth with them, and that was kind of giving me more information and building up what I need to attack and how to attack. So I was just talking to them, and we just having general conversation. There's a brother on there named Ngozi, he's good with science, and I was feeding off some of the energy he had. So and then Uncle Keck was like, "You don't have a crew, man. You need somebody. I know somebody that debated us that can help you out in taking on Seti." So the brother name is Nazir. He gave me Nazir number. I called Nazir. Nazir started going to work. I mean, this brother ain't stopped. I was receiving so many texts from him, man, and looking at so much stuff is like nonstop. And this is Unc put together this Seti killing machine. So when he starts saying all that stuff, that's just drama. In fact, I was supposed to go beat Seti, bring back the championship belt to Atlanta, and face the Armor Raw squad to bring validity to Atlanta. That was our plan. So when he's doing all this stuff, that's a little acting and drama. Like when he called the show, when he was talking about the ostrich feather and all that stuff, then he called me the next day, apologized. He was wrong about the ostrich feather. So you would think we enemies.
All right, so in closing, we got our brother Nasi Yashuvel here once again. You want to say any closing words?
Everyone have a good night. Bye.